Welcome to the AIAMC podcast. I'm Kimberly Pierce Burke, AIAMC Executive Director, and I'm so pleased that you're joining us today as we chat with Dr. Mel Speisman. Dr. Speisman is the founder and president of the American College of Artificial Intelligence and Medicine. I recently became acquainted with Mel, and I immediately realized he was someone that I wanted to introduce to our membership and our listeners on our podcast because, one, Mel has a great, rich history with independent academic medical centers. He gets us, he understands where we're coming from. And two, you really would have to be living under a rock not to hear daily, if not hourly, about the latest in artificial intelligence and medicine and artificial intelligence in medical education. So let's get started. Mel, why don't we start with you sharing with us how you got started and how you got involved in medical education?
Well, thanks, Kimberly. Uh, it's interesting, but my start in medical education was very early on when I was an intern at Northwestern University. About 6 months into the internship, I realized, in addition to taking care of patients, that I wanted to truly devote my career to being involved with medical education and teaching medical students and residents. And I actually stuck with that for now 30 years and have stayed the course. Uh, and with that interest in being involved with medical education, I did a chief resident year at West Suburban Hospital in Oak Park, which is kind of how you and I relate now because that was more of a community type internal medicine residency program. And then when I finished that and I was looking for academic positions to teach, I was not aware that behind my back, secretly, all of the residents at this hospital wrote and signed a petition and gave it to the CEO of that hospital, stating that they wanted the CEO to create a position at that time to keep me there to teach residents. Because at the time, they weren't really hiring any physicians. They weren't looking for anyone new, and the residents were very concerned. They didn't want me to leave. They appreciated my passion for teaching. So the CEO did create a position for me as a core faculty member at the internal medicine residency program, with more than half of my time being spent on teaching residents, and I stuck with that uh, all these years and have been really passionate about teaching medical students and residents and mentoring them.
That's a wonderful story, and how gratifying to have the house staff actually join forces to unsolicited join forces to have you stay there. Um, so, so you've been in medical education for many years. When did the AI of the journey start for you?
Right. So there's a little sad part to the story, which is not uncommon, like is happening in many hospitals across the nation. Um, Venture capitalists bought our hospital and intentionally bankrupted for profit. And in the process of doing so, our residency program was defunded and shut down. And I had to look elsewhere to teach. So I actually went back to my medical school here in Chicago, where I trained at the University of Illinois and have been an assistant professor there until recently. And during that time, I attended a lot of grand round sessions, which that's how I stay on top of things. And the dean actually had quite a few invited guest speakers, many of whom were like Nobel Prize winners. And uh, in the process of attending all these conferences, it seemed like every single person that was brought in to speak during the last couple years, the theme was always how artificial intelligence related to their area of expertise. And it became really clear to me that this was where medicine was heading, and I've always been at the cutting edge. Uh, and so I realized that this is where I needed to focus for the future in terms of doing education. And as I networked with faculty across the nation, and even got involved with AAMC, one of their communities, which was artificial intelligence in medical education, it became clear to me that physicians didn't really have professional home for this, that they were just it was just like a side note in various organizations that weren't really dedicated to AI specifically. And having been a member and a fellow of ACP now for 30 years, I thought I need to create a professional home that's like ACP, a smaller version that's for physicians, healthcare leaders, computer scientists to collaborate. So we're literally anyone interested in AI and medicine, that would be a professional society for them to be part of. And it's actually very similar to what you have been doing now for your independent academic centers. So very much same idea, but for AI and medicine.
Hmm. Hmm. No, I think that's wonderful. And something that you touched on that resonated with me is yes, it's for physicians, but also computer scientists, C-suite leaders, healthcare leaders. So I think having that multidisciplinary approach to the topic is so important and right in line, aligns perfectly with our clinical training today in team-based care. So it's really walking that talk. And you have a symposium coming up. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Right. So, our real focus in this organization is education. We do it at three levels, and I always, every day, focus on making sure I hit all three levels. So, we have a UME component where we're teaching medical students and going to various medical schools to lecture. Uh, the part I'm most proud of is the GME component. In Chicago, I go to 5 different internal medicine residency programs and teach at their in noon conferences or academic half days. But the part about the conference, or we call it a scientific session, which is similar to what most organizations have an annual scientific
Mhm.
session. Ours is going to be in Chicago in McCormick Place, September 19th and 20th. And that's an evidence-based scientific session that will be unbiased, not influenced by industry, and will be, world-renowned professors of medicine going over the recent publications in each specialty as it relates to the intersection of AI and, say, cardiology, or AI and pulmonary, AI and gastroenterology. So that's kind of the conference, but the point is that that's supposed to target primarily the CME, or the physicians in practice. So that is a CME activity. We'll be giving out CME credit that's sponsored through the Illinois State Medical Society for anyone that attends. And so it's through attending a national meeting that not only do we get our CME credit, but this is kind of how I have always stayed at the cutting edge of medicine, because I've gone to American College of Physicians national meeting 30 years in a row. And each year I go to all the updates, and it puts me at the cutting edge of everything that's new in medicine. So we're trying to offer that same type of thing for AI, because as you probably know, the publications that are coming out in AI and medicine are exponential. We're talking thousands and thousands per year. And it would be too overwhelming for any one physician to even try to keep up with that. It's quite amazing what's happening. So this would be a way for one of your faculty that's part of your organization, one of your members, to come for a couple days and learn from the best in the world about what was new in the last year in AI and medicine, and then bring that back to actually implement at the hospitals and teach the residents that they work with. So.
Yeah, it sounds like a wonderful gathering. And um, what's so great about going to a national conference like that is obviously the education that one receives and can apply, but it's also the networking. So it's also, meeting people like you, Mel, meeting others that have a keen interest in artificial intelligence and medical education, and taking home some tools, putting some tools in their toolkit, and taking that home to their home institutions and starting up a curriculum for, in our case, for the residents in their clinical training, and for the faculty to have more education in this very important topic that's here to stay and is changing medicine quicker than some of us can stay on top of. So I just want to sincerely thank you so much for your time today, Mel. It's really just a stimulating discussion. I would encourage our listeners, Google the American College of Artificial Intelligence and Medicine, learn more about it, sign up to attend that scientific session this summer, and get those tools in your toolkit to take home and continue this important training. So I thank you, Mel. I thank you for our listeners, those perhaps watching. Please check out other AIAMC podcasts on our YouTube channel. And if you don't already, I hope you follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Take good care.